And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, Tom Vasel here, and today we're taking a second look at the Scum and Villainy expansion, Wave 6 for X-Wing. I've already talked a little bit about it in the previous video, where we talked about all the new ships that came in and how there's a third faction now. Now we're going to look at two of my favorite ships. We have IG-88, who is a character who briefly shows up in Star Wars, and yet so much has been written about him in the books and has become many people's favorite character. He's certainly one of mine. And so we have his cool robotic type ship, and then we have that idiotic Black Sun Fleet nonsense with Prince Zysor, which is not one of my favorite books, but is actually one of the more popular. Both of these are mostly from the expanded universe, but they're cool looking ships. They both have some neat maneuvering. Let's take a look at them. Okay, so let's take a look here at the ships. You can see that the Aggressor IG-88 ship is a large base ship, which I was actually a little surprised at because the ship itself isn't that big compared to the other ships of the size, Millennium Falcon, Slave One, etc. Prince Zysor ship, the Star Viper, is, I don't know, has a cool, this is a cool looking ship. As much as I dislike the book that these came from, and Prince Zysor himself, this is a nice looking ship. Now both ships come with this icon on their speed dial. Well, there's actually two of them, one right and one left. This is called Segnor's Loop. And essentially this is a 180-degree angle that simply uses this piece instead. So I can put this one here, fly the ship like this, and then turn it around, which is a very impressive maneuver. I really like IG-88 ship. I mean, when it can do that, essentially it's kind of like hovering. I mean, I think of it, instead of, it's basically moving like this, which is a really cool idea. And I like using this, and I want these two ships in my fleet for this maneuver alone. I always like ships that can do maneuvers that no one else can. There are 4 models for the Aggressor, and they all cost the exact amount of points. They all are 36 points, and they're all, ingeniously named IG-88A, B, C, and D. But they each have a special ability. You can notice there's a ton of upgrades that these ships can add to them. This one here, after you do an attack that destroys a defender, you recover a shield. On this one, when you do an attack that does not hit, you can do an attack with one of your secondary weapons. On the D, you can use this. The D is my favorite. You can use this piece when you're doing that 180-degree turn, which is really cool. And then the C, when you do a boost action, which is also cool, by the way, that all these ships can do the boost action, you can perform a free evade action. So you're sitting there going, oh, I don't know which of these to pick. But that's okay, because this game comes with the IG-2000, which is a title that you can put on each of these ships. And when you do, though, you have the pilot ability of each other friendly ship with the IG-2000 upgrade card. Now this one is bugging me, because currently I only have one of these ships. And I would love to use this special ability where essentially I can get 2, or even, I would gladly take a fleet of all 4 of these ships together and have all 4 have the special abilities of the other one. There are other upgrades and things that these cards can have. Let's take a look at some of them. We have the Dead Man's Switch. Essentially, when you're destroyed, each ship at range 1 takes the damage. I like that one. We have the Hotshot Blaster, where you can attack a ship that's outside your firing arc. A feedback array. We have inertia dampers, and then other things too. There's an auto blaster accuracy corrector, mangler cannon, proximity mines, and seismic charges. So really, this set, the IG-88 ship, the Aggressor, comes with quite a bit. I really had bought it assuming that I was going to use it just as a one-off, and now I'm seriously considering getting at least another one and probably a few more beyond that. The Star Viper doesn't have as, if you look here, for example, when we compare the Star Viper to the Aggressor, you'll notice that they have pretty much everything's the same except for the shields involved. The Viper does not have the shields that the other ship has, and that's reflected in the point cost. You'll also notice that between the Black Sun Enforcer and the Black Sun Vigo, that the only difference really is the pilot. There's no special abilities on them, but these also have the boost action, which is nice. when we get up to the higher ones, with the Star Viper for Guri and Prince Zysor's Starfighter, this one is such a nasty one. I don't know if I like it. Essentially, when you get a hit, you can pass it off to a friendly ship. I tell you, that guy was such a jerk. And here, if you're at range 1, you can add a focus token. I actually like this one a lot. There's a 1 point difference between them. I do under this ability, I think is better than this one, but he does have the higher pilot ability. Other cards that come in this set, we have a Bodyguard and Calculation. I like Calculation, where you can change one of your hits to a critical hit, which is pretty neat, and for only 1 point. This is one that I would certainly consider having on my thing. Got some ion torpedoes and inertia dampers, auto thrusters, which are cool for maneuvering, a hull upgrade, which gives your hull size by 1, and then this accuracy corrector. This one I like. It's very intriguing. Essentially, instead of rolling, when you roll dice, you can cancel all of them to do 2 hits. So obviously you would use this when you don't do many hits. 2 hits isn't a lot, but the fact that I can do that is a really intriguing thing. It's for 3 points. This is one that you might want to put on a ship because it means you're probably going to hit all the time. And then the title here, Virago, where your upgrade bar gets more. If you notice on all these ships here that they don't have a very good there's only 2 upgrades on each of these as opposed to the aggressor ship. So this adds 2 more things to the card. And you can only use this card if your skill is 3 or higher. So there you go. I mean, the IG-88 ship, the aggressor, is kind of a tough one because I love it. But really, you need 2, 3, or 4 of them. I mean, 4 would be great, but that's expensive. And Fantasy Flight, you know that. But I'll probably do it. Zysor's ship is nice. I love the way it looks. And it's cool, it has some maneuvering. I'm kind of happy with the one that I have, and I might use that one with a mixture of the Scum and Villainy fleet. But these are 2 really cool ships, and they're actually my favorite parts of the Scum and Villainy set, and I'm glad to have both of them. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.